Welcome back to Overflow with yours truly, Kimberly Snider. This podcast, I'm hoping that we explore really what it means to live, to lead, to work from a place of abundance, authenticity, possibility. And today I'm joined with a remarkable entrepreneur, I would say a visionary and a builder, Muneera. Muneera is on a mission to help founders and teams use technology to grow faster, build stronger, and create meaningful impact. Through her companies and collaborations, she helps leaders transform ideas into products, systems, digital experiences that allow them to scale with confidence and step into the next chapter of success. But I think today's conversation might just go a little bit beyond technology. Muneera is someone that I've had the privilege of watching and admiring over a few years, and I've enjoyed witnessing her growth as a leader, listening to her insights, following her journey, reading her thoughtful reflections on Substack. What stands out to me isn't just what Muneera has built, it's how she shows up with honesty, with courage, with curiosity, with a willingness to share the real lessons that come from leadership, entrepreneurship, life, and really becoming more truly fully yourself. Through her writing, her conversation, she brings a refreshing blend of, I call it wisdom, vulnerability, truth, and possibility, qualities that resonate deeply with what I call the overflow philosophy. So today we're exploring the human side of success, the courage to trust yourself, the journey of finding your authentic voice, the moments when life stops us and stops us maybe from fitting into everyone else's expectations, and we start creating our own path that's more aligned with who we truly are. So let's talk entrepreneurship, leadership, self-trust. Gosh, decision making, even in moments of trust or even in moments of uncertainty and doubt, and the strengths that often emerge when we stop fitting into that box and start embracing who we truly are. If you've ever wondered whether you can trust your instincts, question the next step, or felt that pull towards something bigger, more meaningful, more aligned, I think this conversation is for you. So grab a coffee, we certainly have ours, take a deep breath, and join me for a thoughtful, inspiring conversation with Muneera. Welcome to Overflow, Muneera.
Hi, Kim. Thank you for having me. Very excited.
I'm so excited. And we'll have to make sure that we put your Substack contact information in the show notes because the most recent article, not so self-driven, not self-made, is really what I think inspired me to reach out and say, okay, we need to have this conversation. And so thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And so what's lighting you up these days? What's on your agenda? What's on your heart these days?
Oh, there's not only one thing. It's really
No?
hard to say. Yes, but a lot of focus is actually growth for the company. I did an acquisition last year and I'm just growing that company. So that's like really a laser focus these days.
Congrats.
And really, I'm the only woman-owned Shopify Plus partner in Canada, which is a pressure, but not a pressure. But I'm really cool what we're building here and really helping e-commerce brands to the next level. So it's really a lot of my focus is growth technology. I also help some entrepreneurs for strategic consulting, building what the next technology roadmap looks like for them. So working with few of them. So it just moves me in a different way.
Amazing. So tell me more about, I don't work with Shopify because I don't have a product, but tell me more about the Shopify partner. Like, let's help listeners understand what you do as a Shopify partner in this concept of e-commerce and AI, right?
Yes, yes, a very big focus these days. So we help brands get visible in AI. We do a lot of brand discovery. First, we start with a brand discovery report and looking at where the gaps are. So it's basically split into different buckets of content, technology, and brand authority. So yes, that's been every day. But basically, the company is e-commerce growth. Anyone who's trying to grow online and has a product-based business, we help them. We are a full stack growth technology. And my experience being over 20 years in technology space, building products and really focusing on the growth side has really helped me and driven to do this. And then I'm really, really enjoying working with the clients. I just recently, last Monday from Toronto Tech Week, I was actually hosting an event. I had a few of my own brands, the clients who work and actually spoke at the event and how they build the community around their brand and how they grew from there, how important the brand was for them, and how their customers actually helped them build the brand. And I'm actually hoping the same for me as well, building a community of customers that will help and evolve our brand as well while we are helping them.
Beautiful. That's brilliant. And I think you are enjoying life as an entrepreneur. You were at one point in corporate. And so how
Yes.
would you say, do you have a preference for corporate entrepreneurship? You're leading on your own. I always wonder, I often see leaders and I think, it's lonely at the top when you're an entrepreneur and you're on your own.
I think, yes, there is a loneliness in the leadership role as you grow up. It's like this.
Yes.
So when you're a pool of other people, you have a lot of peers, and
Yes.
then as you grow up, it started to reduce. There's a lot of more responsibility starts to come on you. And if you are a natural leader and natural coach and mentor, you are set up for leadership. And if you are someone who wants hands-on and be in the game all the time tactically, I think leadership becomes a bit harder challenge, but not necessarily not doable. But you need like a proper training and coaching around that, because coaching people, being responsible of people, a different job than actually building hands-on stuff, products or whatsoever. So that is what I had seen when I became a leader. I loved coaching and the mentor piece part, but also I really, really miss the craft. I was a product manager and was working on senior leadership and on the vision of the company, where the company is going, what strategy I have to do in order to get to the goals that company is striving towards. But I love that whole passion and early stage feel. I created few incubators in the companies that I was at, and then there was a point I was like, I think I'm ready to be on my own. Like I felt I would do a roadmap for the company for last 3 4 years, and we'll see what's next one. Rinse and repeat. Ah, if I'm not growing anymore, I'm losing, right? So how about so just it was just an experiment, wanted to try out, took a few months of pause, and there was no as such decision of what is next look like. It's just life starts happening. Yeah. So I actually knew more what I don't want than I knew what I want.
I love it.
That was the one thing that I knew that I didn't want. I wanted to design my life, and work is just a part of it. And I also don't believe on the word balance. I think it just throws you off. I think it keeps you small. So I don't want a balanced life. Like balance means you're compromising something. And I was talking to some of the women, and they were all doing very good in their career, but they were like, but doing your own work is also so stressful. So I just always tell them, if the work is burning you out and stressful, it's not the right work for you. A healthy stress is very good for you, for human beings. Like if we are not putting ourselves into uncomfortable positions, and if when we are working out at the gym, our muscles are sore the next day. It's not, but it's for the good reason. But your body did went into a stress. And so we cannot grow without being uncomfortable. I don't think so. But you have to just acknowledge that and then keep going on. And you have to take that as a sign of growth rather than imposter. I would believe. A lot of time we think that we are going through an imposter syndrome, but a lot of time it actually also means that you're in a space that you don't know and you have to acknowledge you don't know and you're learning as you're growing. Yeah.
Muneera, I'm going to have to quote you. So, you do not want a balanced life. Do you know how many people are seeking work-life balance?
I think to be honest, work-life balance is not on employers. It is on employees. You have to define it, what that balance look like. No entrepreneur, a CEO, or your leader can actually figure out what balance is for you. Balance is so much personal, right? So
Truly.
if your work is not moving you and not challenging you and you're not learning, it's not the right place for you.
Mhm. Well done. Well done. That might need to be the podcast episode, is like really challenging us. And I think I always think of it as seasons, like, yes, maybe this season is roll up your sleeves, work late hours, do all the things. And that might be a season, like, but that's not for the next, 365 days. So can it be for seasons that you are overextended on this and then, or you're less on this? So I think sometimes the balance or the points of our life are they change. So right now, if family needed you, then it would be more about family. But if it was work and you were rolling up your sleeves, then it would be that. So I think it's kind of like seasons.
100%. And there is no way, when people talk about balance, what throws me off is you have a teenager and yelling at you at 9 a.m. or something's happening, and then you're going in front of your team all balanced. Is it even possible? Something came up at work, something broke down because I'm in technology, things can break down. And at 5 p.m., you're just cutting off and just sitting on a dinner table with right smile. It just cannot happen. That's why this word throws me off. You are one person, one brain dealing with all of that. So it has to be designed in that way. Your life has to be designed in that way. And if the work or family is not moving you in the right direction where you want to go and how you want to feel, then you have to make changes across. It doesn't have to be, sometimes it's not only work,
Hmm. Hmm. I love that
right?
you're saying the balance throws me off balance. Like just in the sentence, you're like, I can't even be balanced with the word balance. Ah,
Because we have found ways how to keep ourselves small, to not get uncomfortable.
well, as we're recording this, I have this bridge in the background, and I've been running this seminar with a group of professionals around difficult conversations, but I've been calling it empowering conversations. And what I've been challenging the group to think about is, if we don't have the conversation, if we just like push it down, push it away, ignore it, at some point it's like champagne. You're going to shake it up and it's going to explode. And so I understand where, yeah, it might be uncomfortable. It might be difficult. You might need, yeah, experts or resources or coaching or but not having the conversation, avoiding the conversation is not growth. That's
Yes,
where the
and
burden piles up.
uh, our, if our life does not have uncomfortable conversation, if we then we are a lot of it is yes, but we are putting this inside. Like we're not giving a service to our body because everything is stored inside.
Hmm.
And if
Hmm.
it's not coming out, it's stored and it is going to come out.
Amen.
And
It will.
it might be not the moment you want it to come out.
That's right. I agree. I agree. That I was just thinking that. I was like, it's just like champagne. It's all bubbling up. And at some point, whether you like it or not, it's going to pop. It's going to explode and it's going to be messy. Like it's going to, yeah,
Yes, 100%.
yeah. And so tell me more about when you said, I didn't really know yet. I didn't really know what the other side would look like. And somehow you trusted this path that you couldn't see. It wasn't all laid out perfectly. Like in corporate, it
No,
would be very clear, right? The career ladder, the career choices, the professional development would be very laid out. And so,
Yes, and also you have to realize when you are an exec, I was in an executive role in one of the coaching companies as well at that time. And I was starting to get a lot of interview calls and I was asking really hard questions because I don't think that interview call is just for me. It's like both ways. Like I'm not only interviewed, I am interviewing the leader.
oh, I'm the
So
same. I
there
always
was,
say that. I
oh,
agree.
always.
As much as
I
I'm
always
interviewing
interview.
you, you should be interviewing me. Yep.
I actually, learn from experience if I have when I did not ask the right question in the interview because culture does matter. Like I have already seen this across. So I would say that there was one interview I remember, and I was having a conversation, and then leaders saying, there's a lot of transition and they had actually acquired another brand and people were leaving and then the leader was burned out. He said, I'm working so much that I'm burned out, and he's interviewing me, and so I need someone on my team that can help load off my burden. And that was a signal for me. I'm like, okay. So the question was that, okay, so there people are leaving because there is a transition happening in the company. There was another brand acquired. So how are you taking care of the people who are staying? Have you hired for the people who left? Said, oh, we are in the crunch. I'm like, okay, so no one knows what's going on with the people who decided to stay.
The boat
It's
is
like for me a
sinking.
culture.
And,
And
and
if you as a leader burned out, so what's happening with the team? So it was like I felt like that I'm going backward, then I'm going to be going forward. And then I
Mhm.
was just thinking about it. It was not about, of course, it's a culture piece, it's a leader piece that they have to be very confident. I have to be learning from my leader, right? I'm looking up to it.
Ideally,
Um, yeah, so there were just few signs for me.
yes.
And then I was like that and also I wanted to design my life my way. It was not only about the work. It was more about what do I want to do, what impact I want to create, what my vision is for life. And that includes my family, my travel, my work, and who I am as a person. And that's what led me that I don't want to go back to corporate. Maybe I want to work for myself and see that what comes. And things starts to come, and it just started. And then there was a point then I was like, because I was a leader and I knew how to grow the teams and building the like growing the company. At one point, I acquisition was the right move for me to actually acquire a company and build the wealth through that. So I have two, three initiatives, and the idea is that they will be operated by someone. Right now, I'm in the season where I'm in the thick of it, but I think there will be a time that they will be operated by someone.
Wow. And
Yeah.
so, in this idea to design your life with your family, your travels, with all the things, it sounds like there's trust in the vision. Like
Oh,
you don't have it all figured out, but you have this beautiful vision. And it sounds like that's the path, that's the
yeah.
draw, that's the trust, even though you haven't figured out all the steps to get there. Because I think a lot of times leaders, they forget about the vision. They think because they're very smart and they're talented and they have a team, they're always thinking about the how. How do I do this? How do I do this? How do I? And they put trust in themselves being able to figure out the problem, figure out the steps. But with
Yeah.
you, it sounds like you're saying, I wanted to design my life. And I took into account all the things that were important to me. And so it's like you designed a vision, not necessarily the how, the step by steps.
Oh, no, I don't believe in that you can actually figure out how ever. I think all you can do is bet on yourself. That's why your relationship with yourself is very important. What's your self image? And that's where I think the first thing I did was actually hiring someone who can help with the mindset, right? So mindset coachings and my coach was really focused on the self image. And I could see that how my relationship with myself, how far behind I can talk about all the vision, but if I don't believe on myself that I can get there, how I'm going to. If I have to bet on myself, it has to be that I have to have that relationship with myself, right? So because we are so much groomed with people around us that it has a lot become about others and us, and we are groomed and trained in that way. To make yourself essential is a practice. Um, so when I decided to take a jump with acquisition and other decisions that I had taken, because leaving corporate with a very stable, very high salaried income to
Yes.
bet on something was myself, right? I'm not okay with 300K, but I will be, yeah, my next step should be 3 million. Why do I have to stuck in a 300K?
Yep.
But when you're making the decision, you are on 0K.
That's right. That's exactly it.
So, so I would say yes, I have been a risk taker almost all my life. So um, sometimes it settles in with other people around me, and sometimes it's not. So it's like really enrolling them in the vision
Yeah,
is important,
it
right?
really
Because
is.
although we say that we don't really care what other people say, but we do care what our
Yes.
loved ones are saying, who are
Hmm.
important to us,
Hmm.
because we're not only impacting our life when we are making changes, we impact people around us, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you have to enroll them in your vision.
I was thinking about when you say you trust yourself, like you trust that you can take this. I mean, I'm thinking a leap of faith. And I often have this picture in my head where, when I need to take a leap of faith, I have this picture of my initial picture is sort of me standing on the edge of a cliff, and I
Mm.
imagine, like, raising, and I'm not I'm not really a fan of heights, Muneera. And so I'm standing on the edge of the cliff and I lift my leg out as if to take a step. I have this imagine, right, that it's a leap of faith. And then what I imagine is that sometimes I'm imagining that it's this giant cliff, that it's this giant, but if I just put my foot out, the other side of the cliff is actually right there. It's just like a puddle in between. And
Yeah.
sometimes I try and play with my imagery of my own mind that, yeah, it's a leap of faith. And we can easily, I think I can certainly make it into a big deal. Like it is a giant leap. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
just lifting your leg up to thinking, oh, yeah, you're just going to jump from this side of the cliff. I imagine Ireland from this side of the cliff to that side of the cliff. Like you'd
Yes.
have to be a superhero. And then I try and reel myself back in and say, but what if I'm imagining that, but it's actually just a puddle and you're just stepping over the curb, like my foot's out and
I also think that vision is a statement first of all, I do believe in thinking from the future self, like really, really thinking from the future and how I'm making the decisions today. Will that person who has actually accomplished that vision would be making those decisions today? What decision would that be? So that just expands our thinking. And also, I mean, I think we can achieve everything. I really do believe we can achieve everything in life, but we can't achieve everything at the same time, right? It doesn't have to be at the same time. And this is where I think us feeling more like a perfectionist versus one step towards that direction, but also always expands our thinking to be not scared of taking the quantum leap,
hmm.
because there is a designed world that been told that this is how we should be living life, this is how we should be making business decisions and all of that stuff. But in the end of the day, if you're an intuitive person, you just have to follow your gut. Your gut actually gives you answer. We are very good in overwriting it, very good. Like we are perfect in overwriting it, because we are so much worried about the current moment at that point. So I have realized over the years that I was always following my intuition. I just didn't know the word intuition.
Okay.
It's just when I started doing some inner work, I'm like, okay, the gut and intuition was all part of my whole career, right? Because I jumped careers too during corporate life. Like I was a software developer, then a product manager, business analyst, process engineer. So I tried a bunch of things. And there are a bunch of things I completely failed on. and
Yes.
didn't enjoy.
Wasn't for me.
But there are a few things that actually really moved me in the direction I wanted to go. Yeah.
I would love if people listening today would really hear you reinforce our gut and trusting our intuition. Because I agree with you that there's another layer of, well, what will other people think? All the other layers, expectations, the demands, the declaration, all the things. And I would really love as a challenge to, someone listening today, like, are you listening to your intuition? What is she saying to you? And, you know, before you squash it with, well, society, community, the business, all the other things, what is your gut saying?
One of the signals, if you have ever done, I knew it. I knew it. That actually shows you didn't follow it.
So
You
good.
just didn't find that courage at the moment. And I would also say it's a practice. Like
Yes.
you cannot be like I'm still always work in the progress all the
Yes.
time. There are very, very scary nights for me. Like as a business owner, you would know there are scary nights. They're
Yes.
always thinking, you're thinking about the next. Yeah, just yeah.
Any tips or practice things that you do to remind yourself to listen, to pause, to check in with your gut? Any practices or tips you have
Um,
on that?
I would say I give myself a lot of pause. I have created a lot of gaps in my day.
Okay.
I try not to start work before 11. That's my time. And that's where designing life comes in. Like I want a slow start of the day and not rushing to get somewhere,
Me
not
too, my
rushing.
friend. Me
That's
too.
why, like, I give you time right after 11 because I know I'm going to wake up and it really depends on the day if I have to do my
Yes.
workout and it's a travel time.
Yes.
And I don't want to rush it. I want to go and be present.
Yes.
So, what is the core time that I want to be working on? And there are times where I'm staying late, and there are times I go home, have a dinner with family, and then I'm doing some writing. There are things that I need to prepare for the morning.
Yes.
But mostly morning time I protect because that's my high productive time. So I don't
Yes.
want people taking over that space. So I can give myself either it's my writing time, it's my workout time, or just a travel time, like
Yes.
whatever.
Yes.
It's not defined every day, but I know that I can choose those early hours for
Yes.
myself.
And time to think. So you could think
That's so
think about your
important.
vision or listen to your intuition, like check in, is this a good idea or is this
Yeah.
something that I
Yeah.
value, I want to do?
And also, I find that sleep is so important. Like, I have always had this, I was called a girl who never sleeps. Like, my brain was always very, very active. It was very hard for me to sleep. And if you know my close friends and my family, they will tell that Munira, like, she has a hard time sleeping. But now I protect it. I really, really. So that's why I leave my morning a little bit more open.
Yes,
If
I
in
need
case
to.
at night there's a lot of thinking time happening and I'm not able
Yes,
to sleep, I have the time in the morning to actually.
not be
Um,
pressured to show up and be in a
I
meeting
sometimes
when,
wake up in the morning.
yes,
I do my stuff, and I still feel my body's telling me that you need more rest. I go and take a nap for half an
yes,
hour more.
yep, yes,
Like, yeah,
balance.
yeah.
Oh, balance. Oh my goodness. I mean, we have to have you back. I've got so much more that I want to learn from you about your vision, your intuition, your leadership. I think you truly lead authentically. Again, I love your Substack. We've got to make sure we put that in the show notes. Follow Muneera. And I guess I want to be respectful of your time, but I like to end with these three questions. And
Yeah.
one is, as you were saying, so you envision, part of your vision is tossing out to your future. I imagine fishing. Went fly fishing once, and so the fly for the fishing rod, we actually threw it out quite a distance. And so it sounds like you try and catch your future self and reel her in. So if you had
Yeah.
advice for your younger self, or if you had a young person in front of you today, what advice would you have for her?
Oh, for younger self, everything's gonna work out. Stop crying.
Come on, stop crying. Really?
But I think tears were very important, but they were also a lot I realized were made of. other people's expectations
Wow.
rather than my own. Um, and then I think I will tell my younger self, working, life is happening for you.
Yes, life is happening
That's
for you.
everything. Everyone comes with their own journey,
Yes.
and you're happy, healthy. Yes, so yeah, but I would not change anything.
No,
I would not change anything. I
this
think
is
that
your
was part
journey.
of my journey where I
Yes.
am today is
Hmm.
because all those moments, right? So that's what I would say.
Truly. I love that it's stop crying and then it's quickly followed up with stop crying. It's their expectations. Like the reason you're crying is because you're trying to please everyone, is what I imagine.
Yeah,
Well
yeah.
done. Well done. What about I find people we are always learning something, always growing. Is there a book or a podcast? Is there anything that you would recommend that you are reading or learning about lately?
I do a bunch of things. So I listen to a lot of different podcasts. Definitely, I would say that it really depends on the season of life I am in.
Yes.
Listen to
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
over, over Overflow
Okay.
with Kim.
Overflow.
Listen
Beautiful.
to her.
Thank you.
Because I think having someone working in the leadership space and really, um, uh, I mean, coaching people on, because a coach can see what you cannot see inside you. I think it's really, really important to invest in yourself.
Mhm.
It's very, very important. One thing, take coaching, mentorship. And if you don't do that, then follow people that you would love to be your mentor,
Love
but
it.
you can just listen to them, right?
Yes.
So start with their books, their podcasts. Like I listen to Stephen Bartlett, Cody Sanchez, Hina Khan,
Yes.
right? A lot of, and there are so many others
Yes.
that I would say, and it really depends on the season, what's going on. That's, I would say that invest in yourself. And if you're running a business, the one thing that commonly people are very, very scared in investing, very, very scared in investing. And awareness is such a big piece for your visibility is a very, very big piece for people to know you. You will have to invest in order to have the results. Without that, and then again, it's you're following your gut, you're following the belief in yourself. Um, so lots of time that I feel like that it's taking entrepreneurs 6 months to a year to make a single major decision. And it's just waste so much time.
Yeah. I love it. Invest in yourself with like plus follow the belief in yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg. And then
Yeah.
the last question is usually around overflow, Muneera. Are you living life in overflow?
Um, I don't know what you mean by overflow, but I would say that um, I think I'm living life
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
best I can, and I see a bright future.
Yeah.
I absolutely adore myself of making some of the courageous decisions that I have made. I've
Truly
taken a lot of
courageous.
risk, but
Yes.
without that risk, I think, and it's not only business, it's in life as well, right? So it's in general your attitude towards taking a risk
Hmm.
is because I don't want a life with regret. I want a life of learning, and I always say life teaches you so much, right? So it's like life is a teacher for me.
Hmm.
That's why it's happening for me. So what is the moment trying to teach me today?
Hmm.
I mean, me and you are having a conversation for a reason. It was part of the journey,
Yes.
right? So yeah, so life as a teacher, just follow it.
I mean, Manira, I love that you're here. I'm listening. I'm just absorbing it all. And I often think when we're having these podcast episode conversations, I imagine, we're having a conversation and I imagine us like we're sitting in a coffee shop and somebody else is in the coffee shop or the restaurant and they're listening and they're, hearing our conversation. And my hope is wherever they are in the world that they take something with them that, I could try that or I could think differently, or I believe that too, or that can help me. And that's my hope of Overflow the podcast. But I have to be honest with you, I really think that today's conversation was for me. So I really think today, in just the season I'm in right now, this conversation around risk and kind of gently pushing yourself outside the comfort zone, believing in yourself, I certainly really needed that today. So thank you for being here, certainly for
Oh,
me.
thank you for having me. I loved our conversation. Thank you so much,
And
Kim.
we'll do this again. And we'll do this
Yes,
again.
for sure, for sure. Thank you.